Bengingasho angiboni ukuthi ngizovota because manje kulesi sikhathi samanje ngiyabona basithembisa izinto kodwa futhi ngenzeki. So ngeke ngize ngiy'qale ngawuvota because ngiyabona yimina ezoba umongameli womuntu wa-2018 soon as possible ngingasabi ngiphatha kahle ngohlelo because manje kudlalwa ngathi isikhathi asikho.
Ngoba we can't just feel like yona, there's a lot of corruption, so ngiyafisa nangibona ushintsho with unemployment eyouth, corruption, crime, zonke lezo zinto. So ngibona ushintsho.
Corruption ukuthi siyavota noma asivoti already vele corruption sikhona so sidlala ngesikhathi sethu
ngoba phela elokishini mfethu akuthina sonke edlala ibhola yabo abanye bayacula abanye baya-acta badinga leyo ndawo ukuze kungabi nobugebengu ngoba ama-artist igebengu ntana uma ngayitholi indlela yawo hata ngenye indlela yabo maye nathi sizama ukuthi yabo sibe ama-example ekasi ukuthi mfana you can carry on and hustle ngeskill onaso.
For some, the vote is a symbol of hope. But for others, like the street vendor, it's a promise that never reached their doorstep, leaving them wondering why should they care about elections at all.
Kodwa nje kube khona ushintsho ngoba sidiscussile kodwa asiboni mahluko engeke nanda ugebengu obukhona enanda kuningi akufana sihlele siphila ngawo ukwazi ukuhamba sekuhlukile enanda eminyango anoba ese-early ngoba bazongena ekhaya imigwaqo-ke yakhona ayilungiswa nhlobo akunalo kushishwa ile likhombisa avota sasaxa uvota akukho uxhaso oqhuma uhulumeni. Sikhala ukuthi yena asixhasi ngalutho mhlawumbe ngase kube khona ukuxhasa sinika lona asishushusa ngebhizinisi lethu ngabanye abantu mhlawumbe ngangcono manje akasixhasi ngalutho thina sithole.
On the airwaves, a new kind of voice is rising. She's a young radio host and activist who refuses to accept low youth turnout as the norm. In her view, the youth aren't disconnected at all. They're simply waiting for leadership that mirrors their identity and their lived experience. She says if young people see themselves in the choices, they'll show up in numbers.
For the space will come, taking you through every spaces. I'm a radio broadcaster, a content creator, a businesswoman. I'm an activist. Okay, so I think March and other civic organizations have played their role to their best ability because the civic organization don't have sponsors, so they're limited in how many campaigns they can do, and young people want fun things. They want ifani bafuna izidisney vibe. So I think it's up to the government. It's the government's role because they have the money, they have the means, they have the resources to create initiative campaigns that will encourage young people to participate in voting, to have an interest in government. They also need to deliver service so that they restore their dignity, but also gain trust from the community. The challenges that we have that makes young people not be involved in, political or current or social issues. We need our government, we need public figures to be patriotic, We need patriotism. We need it to be taught in school. We need people to understand what patriotism is about. Loving, being loyal to your country. What does it mean? What does it look like? Why it's important to love South Africa. Why, as a citizen of South Africa, you need to be patriotic. We need that. We need that because people will understand Uguti not having their opinion, not saying certain things about what's going on in our government affects us. It affects citizens of the country, and caring about your country is caring about the citizens of that country. It's caring about yourself as a citizen of that country.
In the world of science, she is searching for solutions buried beneath our feet. As a master's student, her work explores how restoring soil health can strengthen small farms and protect food security. But she knows research alone isn't enough. For these ideas to take root, she says, local governments must invest in the people growing the future.
Hey, my name is Nosi Esbea. I'm a biological science student. I'm doing my master's in that field at UKZN. So what I look at basically, biological sciences is very broad. So what I touch on is plant physiology. So basically, I look at the relationship the plants have with the soil and that trade-off, what effects this has on that and vice versa. Yeah, so I'm primarily working with remediation, which is making better, basically, so making the soil better. So it's more solving that I'm focusing on for now, as opposed to potential. But yeah. Local government actually deals with the resources for your local farmers, for your SSGs, your small scale growers. If I can have a hand in influencing the direction of that, then it would benefit not only me as a researcher, but the farmers. Right? Small scale growers are competing with commercial growers who have resources. So I'd be helping the community just by voting, which I know is like the whole thing with politics and signing people to vote, but yeah, it would actually help the communities to be sustainable farmers, to also have like a hand in the race, not just commercial farmers who take up the bulk of the market. Looking at the role the government plays in these things, in such close quarters, looking at the role they play in the resources at a local level. My role for the longest time has been just to remediate, to fix the issue, but that isn't dealing with the root of the problem. The root of the problem is the resources that they have, and as a researcher, it's almost like you are, politics is in its own compartment, and research is in its own compartment. So the lines, as connected as they weren't readily apparent to me. Only now is that connection being made. So knowing that the problem isn't just actually the bad soil health, which is what I'm looking at, it would be good to move towards the potential of the land for the benefit of the communities. And the way to do that is to tackle the root of the problem, which would then be a lack of resources. Who gives resources? Local governments. So knowing that and making that connection, I would be remiss to not then cast a vote in that direction to that end.
Given that now you're pursuing your master's and it took you so many...
I mentioned this in the beginning, biological science is very broad, so these things do not become readily apparent to you at first year. I would have to make them understand, because again, they might go into different fields where these things might not be readily apparent. However, it is important regardless of field, and scope. I would mention that their environment is a product of the voting outcome. So if they want to have a hand in changing it, the only way to that effect, apart from being the change yourself that you want to be in the world, is casting a vote. With voting, it doesn't have the best rep, in terms of change and actual change being enacted. So yes, you want to do things and you want to be the change you want to see in the world. However, another way to do it as well, not even another way, additionally, force a vote. It takes nothing away from you, so do it.